Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton. Along with me, as always, is the very patient procurer of passports, Bethany McChesney.
Oh,
How long?
how long? 3.5 hours. Today, three and a
That's
half
not
hours.
bad.
It's not, but if you count the 2.5 hours I waited on Friday to be told I was missing something, it's a total of an awful lot of time sitting in a stinky passport office.
Did you have to go? I imagine you had to go to London.
Yeah, so there's only one actual passport office in Southern Ontario, basically, where if you need a passport in under 20 days, that's the only place that you can get a rush passport. And we travel in a month, so I just had to go there. My son's passport expired, so yeah, there was just, and this is the thing too, I find with anything government related is you can read everything online. You can be so sure that you have everything that you need, and then you get there and it's like, oh, we changed the policy. You
Oh,
actually need this document with all the signatures. So I had to do with the separation agreement, and which is so confusing because I photocopied the sections that specifically talked about getting a passport. And, it had mine and his dad's name on it, and his dad's name was on the signatures for the application.
yep.
The renewal of a passport. It's not like he's never had a passport. But no, on Friday, I waited 2.5 hours for them to tell me, no, they need full document with signatures and everything else. New policy, new policy. Oh my gosh. So I had to go back today. It was a longer wait today, 3.5 hours. Yeah, it was and it's like you always end up sitting beside someone who smells really bad too.
I'm sorry.
The room was no, well, the one Friday, the smell of stale cigarette smoke was so bad that I actually had to come home and shower because I felt like it was on me. And then today, I was sitting beside someone who was eating a giant bag of Cool Ranch Doritos,
Ooh.
like the whole time, and like loud crunching. And it was hot. And, anyways, it was just way too much time in that office. So, but we got it done. So we'll be able to travel.
I'm sure I've told you the story of the passports for Riley's passport in the States. If not, I don't know if I've told it on here, but I'll be quick. So I went down to visit Riley, and this is before she had ever come to visit in Canada. And she's like, I gotta get a passport. And she goes, we'll just go apply for a passport while I'm on my lunch. And I'm like, what? You can't do that. And she's like, yeah, don't worry about it. So she gets her lunch, typical lunch, whatever it was, like an hour, whatever the case may be. Go to like town hall, walk in, walk into the office, need a passport application. Okay, here you go. Okay, bye. Like 10 minutes. I'm like, that's it's like an 8 hour process where I'm from.
Uh-huh.
If you're lucky. And it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. It was still time for actual lunch.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
she had to fill out the form twice because she didn't do it in black ink the first time. And I'm like, if we made that mistake, there'd be a whole nother day. Like
Yeah.
you got to book a day off work to get a passport here.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you're right, 3.5 hours, it can be worse. Like I know I've heard, 6, 8 hours sometimes, depending on the day. Like in 2022, right after COVID, it was really bad.
Brampton, which may be arguably the worst place for many things. Um, I think it's like the highest insurance rate and blah, blah, anyway, but that's where it's closest for us to get our passports. And yeah, you are lined up before it's open outside of
Yeah.
it. And then you're
Mhm.
just like, it's a 5 hour experience minimum, like it's horrible. It's one of the worst. I'd rather go to the Service Ontario for a driver's license than to a passport
Yeah.
office. So
Yeah.
anyway, so what did you do with all your time?
Cleaned out my email inbox and I brainstormed really fun High Rocks workouts.
That's what I was getting to. Because I like the one you come up with. I like the one you come up and I did the math when you asked me because so you had the High Rocks Murph, right?
Yep, the High Rocks Murph.
Okay, so we'll lay that out.
Are we revealing it? Okay.
Well, you might as well see someone might try it.
Yeah, so the High Rocks Murph Memorial Day is coming up. So the High Rocks Murph 1600-meter run. 300 wall balls, 200 lunges with the sandbag weight that you would do, whichever race you were doing, and then 100 burpee broad jumps, and then 1 mile run.
And I'm saying between 40 and 50 minutes.
So yeah, I think this one will take longer than the actual Murph took me.
See, I agree if you were doing this, not the strict dog cough, that wasn't me. Not the strict Murph, because like a strict Murph where like nobody does a strict Murph where like it's strict pull-ups or anything like that. Nobody does that. I would love to try one day, but nobody does that. But if you did an unpartitioned Murph, I think the unpartitioned Murph would take longer, but a partitioned Murph would be faster.
Yeah, but so do you think this one would be faster partitioned? Because I don't.
No, no, I think it would be
I
I
think this
think it'd
one's
be
better to do
slower to
as
partition
pushback.
than it would be to do
Yeah,
it straight through. Just
yeah,
because I mean you're dealing with different equipment and different setup. Like when you partition a Murph, you can literally be under that pull-up bar the whole time.
yeah,
Right?
exactly.
There's
You're not moving your, but
no
this one,
moving
wall
around.
balls to lunges to burpees, I just wouldn't partition this one. But
No.
your legs and that final mile will probably feel worse, I think, than after real Murph.
Yeah, and what was the order? So it was 300 or so was it,
Wall balls, 300 wall balls,
and are you
200
starting with
sandbag
the wall
weight.
balls? Because
Yeah.
in Murph, okay, so you're going kind of going reverse
Oh, yeah.
because in Murph you start with the 100 pull-ups,
Oh, okay. Ooh, I like that better.
right?
Okay.
So you'd start
102. It does. Okay. Nice.
so you'd start with 100 burpee broad jumps
Burpee broads.
into 200 lunges into 300 wall balls into a run.
That sounds worse.
Yeah, you would, your legs would be jello.
Yeah.
Just think how bad your legs feel coming off of the regular high rocks lunges into into that last run.
Uh-huh.
And then you're gonna have like twice as many lunges
I think
and
this one needs to be done wall balls first.
you might have to do it backwards.
Yeah.
That's a lot, man. That is a lot of
Yeah.
work. That's what I mean when you ask me. I started doing the math, right? Thinking, well, this many takes me this long. Obviously, more is going to be slower. Going through it, and that's why I'm like, yeah, like when I did my math, it kind of worked out to like 45, and I went, that seems,
Add 10 for water
yeah,
break
yeah.
density.
Let's give them some
Yeah.
safety time
I think
here.
finishing this under an hour would be good.
Oh, I think so too. I think it'd be fantastic. I'm up to try it one time. I'm up to try it,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
I can do it at home, right? That's the one thing. You don't even need a pull-up bar for that one. You just need a wall
Yeah.
ball target and a sandbag.
Mhm.
But the burpee broad jumps would take me forever because I mean I'm in my 25-foot room.
Yeah. That's okay.
So I would could you do the PFT burpees?
You could, honestly, I find the PFT burpees very dizzying
You got to go switch directions
because
each
you go
time I
back
find.
and forth, back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah, I find you switch directions each time it seems to
Yeah.
help. But
Yeah.
not that I've done it a lot, but I know when I have done it, that's been my
Yeah.
modus operandi. All right.
Mhm.
First topic, and this one came up last week on Matt's live show. Uh, and I think it speaks to the industry, but this is why it's important. Normally, I wouldn't really care too much. But VJ officially saying he is done with OCR, focusing all in on high rocks. I imagine he'll still probably do deck and stuff too, but specifically listed high rocks as his primary focus. First off, I'm just like, do you think it's a good move for VJ? Do you think VJ will be able to attain the kind of success in high rocks that he did in OCR?
Oh, well, that's a tough question to know for sure.
And just for reference, type of success he attained in OCR is world champion,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
But let's yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah, that's tough to say. I mean, I don't blame him though. So what is he gonna do? Keep racing Spartan races and hope one day you get paid? Like VJ is this is his thing.
Hmm.
He's a full-time athlete, so you can't keep you can't keep racing Spartan racing if you are genuine relying on that prize money. So, and I mean, he's owed money still, and DECA kind of still falls in line with that. I mean, there's still people not being paid since DECA Worlds, and like we're coming up 6 months now. So, again, so what do you do? Sit around and wait for it? So you got to kind of go where the money is. And also right now, Hyrox is just booming. And I mean, if you could do like a European tour of Hyrox and hit, one race every weekend for 6 weeks and um just it, even we don't even have as many Spartan races and they're not as contested. Like we've really lost that elite side of Spartan racing. So he was, and it's too bad only I think because VJ was one of the ones he was continuing to push for it. He was trying to rally, getting, a bunch of the OGs out for North American champs and have a bit of a reunion. And he was still trying to keep the hype going and longer than a lot of people from that world also. And, he raced the 3K series and was one of the few people that committed to that too. And yeah, so it's a shame. And I think he's kind of doing what he needs to do if he wants to continue to be a full-time athlete.
And it's not just the because I mean I thought about it at first. I'm like, well, realistically, unless you're top three, there's not really a lot of money in High Rocks yet either. But there is a lot more sponsorship opportunities and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the right now the trend is growing up as opposed to down. So prize money is increasing, not
Mhm.
decreasing, and is being paid for everything for all intents and purposes that we understand. So it does seem like a move. I don't know if VJ can attain the same success though. I don't know if it suits him near as well as as OCR did. His natural talents lend so well to OCR. Just he was so smooth about moving his body through time and space on obstacles and rigs and stuff that he didn't really even have to practice it that much. I don't see Hyrox being the same scenario for him. Yeah, he's a strong guy, especially for his build.
And as a flat-out runner, he's very good.
Yeah, he's good, but I don't think he's like when he went to an OCR race, he often seemed to be the best runner. I don't think he's going to show up to a High Rocks course and be the best runner because I think that, for example, someone even using yourself as an example, right? You get out on the trails, you're a good runner, but compared to some of the other women, you get a little lost in the mix. You go on to like, you know, the whatever you want to call it, the stadium, the track, concrete, flat running, all of a sudden your skills increase.
Yeah, well, I find again for my size and my build, the stations take a lot more out of me.
Yes, yeah. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying the pure running thing, although he is a good runner, in let's just say on a Spartan Super, pure running, I'm going to take him over Rich Ryan.
Hmm.
But in a High Rocks race, I'm going to take Rich Ryan over him because this is just flat, fast running. It's not technical.
Yeah. And after moving
Mhm.
slow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong. He might do great, and I wish him all the best. I got no issue with VJ whatsoever. I think he's
Yeah.
he's a good young guy, but I just wonder if his skills transfer quite as well as they did in OCR. And I also wonder if some people are giving up too early. Like I hear people, and I mean, I've heard VJ, I heard Atkins on Running Public the one day, and it's like, yeah, well, there's nothing for OCR. Well, here's the fact: a lot of competitive OCR is the same as it was. It's just no Spartan, and Spartan is still there. They're just we know they're shit with paying out money. So the series isn't there, but the championships do have a lot of money at them. But like I say, who knows when you'll get paid? But the other stuff like FISO is throwing out other championships. We're getting a few other places here and there. USA OCR is launching their first USA championship race. And if you're going to travel overseas for High Rocks, there's a lot of cool OCRs overseas anyway. So
But I mean, when you look at the OCR athletes overseas, though,
they're good.
yeah.
They're really good.
Uh-huh. And
And
but I mean, VJ's not going to go over to Europe every time he needs to race either.
no, understandably that, but in High Rocks, you're only going to get two races in North America that's going to pay you any money,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, so maybe the big draw then is that we're seeing more and more people getting sponsorships.
Yeah, there is. That would have to be there, right? Is to get more.
Because really, like I would hope that most athletes wouldn't be thinking that they're going to rely on like prize money as their primary form of income.
No, because there's just like even if you win every High Rocks race of the year, it's still not a lot of prize money. It
Right.
doesn't
Yeah.
pay you as much as a decent job.
Hmm.
You know, like I don't think so. What do you win for championship? Like 20 grand?
I don't even know. Sounds about right.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
that's if you win, and you're
Yeah.
spending probably 3 grand just traveling that one weekend to get it, depending on where it is.
Yeah.
And only one person's getting it.
Yeah.
So you better be damn good to get it. And then the majors are what, like 5 grand or 8 grand or something like that. It's
Hmm.
it's not that much. There's four
No,
of those. So
not enough.
yeah, and covers your travel and your expenses a bit, but yeah, it's got to be through sponsorship that you can do it. And like I said, and the money increasing. But as the money increases, so will the competition.
Hmm.
And so I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I think I kind of hoped he would hang on and then maybe kind of help rebuild it, but I that's not his responsibility. That's not his obligation, and he has to take care of himself.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't know why people totally stop one and he could still jump in a couple of Spartan races here and there too.
Yeah, yeah. And and again, here's this is a pet peeve of mine. This bothers me. And I have heard athletes say this, like, well, I love OCR. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I can't do it anymore because, there's no money or there's no this or there's no, well, if you can't do it because there's no money, you didn't love it. That's my straight out thing, right? If the only reason you're there is to make money, or the only reason you can justify going to a race is because there's prize money, then you didn't love the race. You loved competing,
Hmm.
you loved making money, you loved racing. That's great, but you didn't love OCR. That's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, unless they're referring to not getting paid money that they're owed, because it's like the abusive relationship. You can love it a lot, but if you continue to be abused by the system,
yep.
then that's enough.
But Savage still has a pro series that almost none of them are going to, and that pays on time.
Yeah, it just doesn't pay very much.
No, but I'm saying again, that takes away the, scorned lover thing,
Yeah.
right? Like Savage has done nobody any wrong. Right?
Hmm.
And then their series, yes, it doesn't pay very much, but it does pay. And it's great racing. And if you love OCR the way you profess to love OCR, there's your new side chick. I don't know how else to put it. Like what? But there's another avenue, right? There is other avenues. So sometimes it does kind of get me a bit when people say, I love OCR, I love OCR, but I can't do it because of this and that and that. So I have to move on to high rocks because there's a future for me there as a professional athlete. Well, then you didn't love that sport. You loved being a professional athlete,
Yeah, I see your point.
you know? And that's someone who is not a professional athlete. So maybe I'm biased in my view. And
Hmm.
I can say I loved OCR, which I did, but I don't do it as much now because I'm more afraid of getting injured than anything.
Yeah.
That's actually my primary reason why I don't do as much is because
Well, and there's options now where
yeah,
that is eliminated.
yeah, exactly. In my mind, when OCR started, what I wanted OCR to be was TMX, right?
Hmm.
Was obstacles and fitness and some running, and that only existed for 2 years and very very limited, right? I'm kind of hoping right now. I think if they did TMX right now, it would be a huge success.
Oh, now, yeah.
Yeah, so Tough Mudder, let's go, fire it up. Yeah, like so that's my pet peeve. That's my pet peeve with them is if you love it, you can still do it, guys. It's still there.
Hmm.
By the way, Canada's still paid up. Just saying. I think Spartan Canada's paid up. Yeah, that has to run
I'm
through.
just trying to
Am I
remember if I
good?
got
Am
paid.
I good?
Yeah.
I think yeah. I
Yeah.
think I asked you before and you said you were good, so that's why I made sure.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly certain Spartan Canada is paid up. Is my understanding. I spoke with them and they seem to be pretty confident there. They have all their bills paid and they do run a different ship.
Hmm.
All right. Let's see. Want to talk a little CrossFit?
Sure.
All right. So the big news in CrossFit, massive penalties. Right? So everybody does the open, leaderboards up there, and then all of a sudden, massive penalties everywhere. Penalty, penalty, penalty. Like people getting like 200 reps penalties, dropping 200 positions on the leaderboard, like massive penalties. Couple of big names not being in it anymore, like Nick Matthews, Paige Powers, both being out of the games because of penalties on the thing. Tia Toomey going from first to seventh, Vellner going from first to 22nd or something like that. And most of the penalties, do you know what they were on?
It was the workout with the box step ups
It was the box step ups.
and the handstands.
Yeah, but it was mostly the box step ups in that workout that got him. And you know why? Because as part, and I'm turning sideways, I'm turning sideways. Here I go. Part of the requirement for the standard is to have your head up as a straight line. And you know yourself, I do it. I'm sure everybody else does it. When you step up on that box, you're looking down at the box to make sure you step on the box. And then nobody does this and then looks back down to step back down.
Oh boy.
So that was where so many penalties came in. So the two things I'm hearing, and I'm hearing two different camps. One, I'm hearing athletes should know the standards and do the standards. And I often take that position. I'm usually that guy. And then the other one I hear is, well, if CrossFit's going to crack down on standards, they need to let us know and be more specific about what the standards are. Where do you land on that?
Um, I mean, so it's written in the standards they have to have their head up. So a
So
lot of these athletes,
if you go to like CrossFit and CrossFit page, they have like you can see standards and videos of like every exercise they do. So if you get a workout where this is the workout, you can go and look up what the standard is for that movement.
so this is something that it always just is. So every time you do a box step up in CrossFit, your head has to be up at the
Yes.
top.
Yes. However, the same rule applies to deadlifts, and in the open, they didn't nick anybody for that.
Oh
So,
boy. So they missed setting a precedent in the open,
mhm. And
and then they decided they wanted to stick to this part of the rule.
not everybody got reviewed.
Well, everybody going on would get reviewed.
Not necessarily. It's not in the rules that they'd have to be.
Oh boy.
So, what do you think?
Well,
Who's
I
to blame?
mean,
Athletes, CrossFit, who's to blame on this one? Come on, Beth. I gave you the gavel. Pass judgment.
I mean, I feel for the athletes who it's for something quite minor, really. And I mean, that rule, I don't understand the head up thing because really, when you're doing a box step up, the movement is completed when your hips are extended at the top.
Yeah.
So whether the head is down or up, it really shouldn't matter. So I don't understand that in the first place. Um, but yeah, so I can see why athletes wouldn't have done that. So I don't, it's it's too bad that we're gonna have people then who miss out because of something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of the muddy waters part of standards where it's like, we don't really, it's not really that big of a deal, but this one time we're gonna make it a big deal. But I don't understand why. Like, yeah, it is kind of too bad.
I normally, like I said, I am normally the guy who says, fucking look at the standards. That's on you. It's your job as an athlete to know the standards, especially when you're doing a virtual workout, right? When you're doing something online. On this one, no, I'm throwing it at CrossFit because of the inconsistency. And not just because of the inconsistency, but because of stupid programming for a virtual event. When you're doing a virtual
Yeah.
event, you have to, not that I've hosted one, but whatever, I've judged a few. You have to pick movements that one are easy for the athletes to do, and one take as little form in judging as possible so that this shit doesn't happen. You know, like those box step ups should have been a box over, right?
Yeah.
And then here's the point. Why does that head up even matter? Like take something from RX1 here, because sometimes they'll be like, yeah, we don't care about that part of the rule because it's just too hard to judge. So screw it. Do it without it, right? It's
Or it
still
really
hard.
doesn't matter.
No, just change the movement a little, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the inconsistency and then doing that. And the fact that some people get judged, some people don't. And it's all over the board. And one workout before it doesn't matter. When the deadlifts, when everybody went all haywire, nobody cared. Then they go in there and it's just a shit show. And it gives it a bad name to what is a great competition.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Well, I find it strange that at this point here, it's still all online workouts. And I don't, I mean, I'm not the close enough to CrossFit to totally understand. Um, but I guess with just this sheer number of athletes that compete at still this level, it's hard
Mhm.
to create actual events where that amount of people are going. But the virtual workouts are just so tricky, like camera angles and everything. And I mean, again, if these things were done in real time with judges and they knew exactly what they were no repping, then someone would have just fixed it and put their head up every time.
Now, here's the thing, actually, a lot of the people that did get dinged had judges with them, and we're talking legit judges who belong to this. Oh my God, what is it? Alliance of Fitness Judges,
Okay.
which is a new thing, which I think is a fantastic idea. And it's essentially like a nonprofit body that has brought together a group of qualified judges that you can, if, like, say you wanted to hire a judge to go to your gym to make sure that your members that your affiliate are doing it right. They come out, they have their shirts on, they're judging. A lot of these people who got dinged had these judges there.
So is it someone you would pay to come out to your gym?
Yeah,
Can we pay them to come to High Rocks?
yeah, we need a lot of them. But yes,
Just
yes,
have
they
wall
could.
balls.
They
Yeah.
absolutely could. They absolutely could. Yeah, no reason you couldn't get 15 of those people out there to judge wall balls. And
So what you're saying is then these judges should have known.
yes, they should have known. So again, that takes a lot of onus back off the athletes again because they had proper judges with them. This was just such a meaningless thing and such a dumbass standard that doesn't matter. It does not make the movement any harder.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything. If you wanted to make sure that, again, if I was going to write that rule, which I'm not a fan of the whole full extension. I hate it, especially for the virtual competition. But if I was going to write that rule for a virtual competition or any competition, it would be knees in line with ankles, in line with the knees, in line with the hips, in line with the shoulders. That creates full extension. Yeah,
Hmm.
sorry, Association of Fitness Judges. That's what it's called,
Hmm.
which I think is a great idea. I started following them and I'm actually going to look into it and see what their training stuff is, whether I might even join. Who knows? Now I'll
Yeah.
go be nasty to everybody everywhere. But yeah, to me, that's how you, and the term full extension, I fucking hate that term. It's dumb, but that's where I say ankles in line with knees, in line with hips, in line with shoulders, perpendicular to the ground. That is clear cut,
Hmm.
right? You can't lean because it says perpendicular. If all those things are in line, you're at full extension because you can't be at full extension without all those things in line,
Hmm.
right? So wording is so important. And I mean, I've gone through this with other ones with High Rocks is wording for wall balls and even CrossFit's wording for any kind of squat. It's bad. So yeah, I throw it at CrossFit on this one.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Another thing that happened with some judging, this actually happened to one of our favorites, Miriam and Gracie Walton, I believe it is. So they both had their scores entered wrong. They did the workouts, but their scores were entered wrong, so they had terrible scores and were out of qualifying. CrossFit did allow for those clerical errors to be repaired, to be rectified even after you could not submit anymore. Is that the right move?
Well, like you said, this could have been a language barrier situation.
It is always possible with I always like I mean with Miriam she's Swiss and she does not speak English very well, so that is always a possibility. I don't know how the translation is on the webpage, but I know anytime I find any translation it can be very sketchy,
Hmm.
so that's possible.
Yeah, and I mean, if I think that that's fine. If they can verify with their workout that
Yep.
what their actual score was, then I think that's totally fine. It's just a mistake. And like we have technology errors and everything like that too, so I think that's fine.
And I agree with that one because and they were submitted on time. They
Hmm.
just was submitted incorrectly. Now when you say technology errors, there was another girl and I can't remember her name, but she submitted her score and her video on time. But when CrossFit went to review her video, YouTube had taken it down because of copyright on music. So the video was not available. So she was dinged out. I don't know if they brought her back in or not.
Oh, that's not fair.
So you think same thing on that one as long as it was in on time?
So the music thing, I've had this happen before too. I had
Me too.
this on during a virtual workout during COVID. And that I don't remember at all. But that's a good lesson though for people to learn too. Like keep the music off. That happens often.
Yeah, it does. And the other thing too, and this is where I put it to people, and Rye actually made a video way back in the day of 2020s of how to do a virtual, tips for doing your virtual competition. And all this stuff was like she put it all, camera angles, stuff like that, making sure keeping the dog away, making sure the camera's secure, making sure your video is uploaded correctly, double checking, watching your own video before you submit it to make sure, oh, I screwed that right up,
Hmm.
things like that. And I think that's where the athletes do let themselves down sometimes. They just go, cool, I'm in.
Yeah.
Especially some of the higher end athletes because they are so good that they just figure, okay, it's good. I got my score and that's a good score. I put it up there and away I go. And
Hmm.
then when it's too late, it's too late. So anyway, that was a lot of crazy stuff going on with that stuff. Do want to say congrats to Miriam Von Rohr, High Rocks girl, and our favorite CrossFitter, Carolyn Prevost, both making it to the semis. Look forward to cheering them on and getting to actually watch their next workouts
Yeah.
on YouTube, I assume, will be where they're at.
Hmm.
Miriam will be in the Euros, and Carolyn will be in the North America East.
Hmm.
So that's good. Um, all right. Yes. Oh, so that was the girl with the quarterfinal thing. That was Larissa Tuna.
Mm.
Yeah. So Larissa Tuna, hopefully she got into because I think she deserves to get in. If she had the scores and submitted it in time, and it's just a technical error like that, I think you got to make some leeway.
Hmm.
Um, should we talk about her weekend? We haven't talked about like her weekend yet. So I had like a DECA weekend.
Yeah, and you did your first ruck.
I rucked it, man. Ruck you. No, it was so first off about my ruck, I'm going to say I put a picture up, and yes, that is a backpack. It is not a weight vest, just so you know. In the picture, it does look like a weight vest, but it is not. It is a backpack. So I do know the rule. Yeah, I went through and I did a sim, and then the next week I did the ruck. So I did beat my sim time, but not as much as I should have. Um, let's just and I've talked to a lot of people that were there that weekend, so many people listening have already heard this, but here are my race excuses. So going into a race, I'm generally the guy like on the Friday before the race, I do nothing. I don't do a shakeout. I don't do anything. Sorry, Tara, it's true. I never did any of the shakeouts. No, I laze around, I relax, I try to do as little as possible. Often I'm traveling, we're doing a drive, and I try to eat somewhat reasonably for me. This time, we were I because we're volunteering at the event, we were going to do the ruck on Saturday and then our relay on Sunday just to make more time for other people. So Friday in the morning, I get up and I do 1,000-meter rowing intervals at fairly high pace, and then go to work, and then come home. And in the evening, I go to the CrossFit gym and I practice muscle ups for a little over an hour. And then I come home and we have a giant sushi meal, bigger than usual. Yeah, and even had a little alcohol for a change too. So we did everything we could possibly do wrong.
Yeah.
Everything I could possibly do wrong. The only thing I did do right is go to bed fairly early. But and we did get to sleep in a little. But so yeah, so then I went and I did my ruck, and well, I beat my sim time, but I think it was like 6 seconds or something like that. But in the beginning, like, and I didn't go hard, but I shaved, what was it, like 12, 12 seconds off on the row, and then no, 12 seconds off on the lunges.
Oh,
And yeah, because when I did my sim, I just slowly, I had no idea what it would feel like. So I just slowly did. So I shaved 12 seconds off on the lunges, shaved like maybe 2, 3 seconds off on the row. It's just like, and then at the end, but my bike, even the bike was exactly the same. And then I just bled out. It's horrible. It was just terrible. So
Mhm.
anyway, but it still was good. I liked it. I really liked it. I enjoyed the extra weight, and I did find that the lunges I did so the lunges with the extra 30 pounds, I still a 40-second lunge,
Nice.
which was pretty good. I mean, if by deca, if you do like a 30 mid 30 lunge without the weight, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
So the 40 seconds was good, and I wasn't pushing. So
Hmm.
it's just, but yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think the extra weight suits me. There's definitely some work that needs to be done in technique. It does really change up box overs and burpees the most.
Yeah.
Um, a little bit on the dead ball. The rest, like the machines, didn't really didn't really phase me much. Didn't really come into play
Yeah.
a lot. Changed the row style a little bit, but not that much. Um, and but yeah, burpees and the box overs, big effect on there. So, but yeah, I liked it. I will definitely do it again. And I put in a decent time. I will be, I think, fourth in men when it all shakes out because
Nice.
I would have been third. I would have been third, but then Zach Tate come along and I'll be straight on as Zach handed my ass to me. He had a really good run. Well, and he's the same way. He didn't like his run either. We never do. But yeah, in my eyes, and I think most people's eyes, he had a very good run, and yeah, so he bumped me out of that third spot. So good for him. But that's okay because he brought me power lift. He gave me the bag. It's for me. I just I just drank the other flavor. But so Ryle drank. But anyway, yeah. So it was very good. It was very good. And then we went on to the main event on Saturday and we had a blast. Sunday, sorry. We had a blast. We had wasn't as big a turnout as the last one, but that was expected.
Hmm.
But yeah, we had some really good time. Pure Impact did bring an army there. They had a lot of people there. I had a lot of our own gym members go and do a lot of their first runs and some very, typical DECA strong thing that we love, some tears, some I can't believe I got through it, some things
Yeah.
like that, some huge PRs. Um, we did not PR on our relay either. We were a little behind on that one as well, but same deal. Still recovering and Rye's still fighting a knee injury thing, so we actually did okay.
Hmm.
Um, um, Amber and Chelsea set the world record by 1 second.
1 second.
1 second, and I judged that one, and I was right on that stop. Not ram hit the ground, hit it. It was one
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. Chelsea Grant is looking so strong right now. She did a massive PB on her solo Deca Strong.
Yeah, it
Low
was
13,
yeah,
18 or something.
yeah, 13-19 because I rubbed it in because she still didn't beat me yet. But it was
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean that puts her right now like top 10 in
yep.
the world for females in the strong. So yeah, she's one of our top Canadians right now. So she's
She has
just doing
been
so well.
working really hard,
Yeah. Yeah,
really
she has.
hard. Not that everybody else isn't either, but like
Just
it's
her improvements have been incredible.
yeah, like she was age grouper last year. She's not this year.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
we
Like
said last year Chelsea Grant's going to be in that
yeah,
elite for the strong. Hmm.
yeah, and I mean, we're always right. So
Well, I
oh,
mean this weekend she proved us right.
oh yeah, yeah, she looked great. She looked great. It was good, and had another guy there. Him and his wife did. They're in the 80 to 89 age group, but he pulled off a 20-second bike, which was impressive.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah, yeah, 20-second bike is always impressive when you hear that thing crank up.
Mhm.
There were some new people, some great times, just a lot of good stuff. Brigitte, who came down and went to your gym for her event, her and she had a teammate come in. They have officially taken over first spot in their age group for the strong relay. They were
Nice.
a dominant force. A lot of good times put out there.
Yeah,
And
she's a great athlete also.
oh yeah, she really is. She
Hmm.
really is. And they're going to Worlds. Like they're not playing around.
Hmm.
She's ready for the podium. She's in they're ready to buy. They already bought it. What they bought a skier, was it? Bought a new assault bike. They're eyeing up a tank. Like she's going in.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah, I'm I don't know. I don't know who's going to contend with them because they're in that 100 to 119 age group and they are really fit and really fast.
Good for them.
So
Hmm.
it'll be exciting. I think you're going to see a lot of Canadians on the podium this year, wherever it may be.
I think we find out tomorrow.
Yeah. So
Tuesday.
technically we should know
So when
by
this
the
is
time this
released.
comes out,
Yeah.
in which case all of our moaning and groaning will be over.
Yeah.
We'll find something else to bitch about. Um, but yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and as always, it was great. And I know we've been like Rye pointed this out, like, there's been a lot of negativity lately about things, and we've been waiting for things, answering things, asking for things, and why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? And it was nice to get back, and just like when you had yours, it was just nice to get a day of the event where we're like, fucking right, let's just all throw down, have a great day, enjoy each other's company, get some good exercise, put in some good times, and have a blast. And it was like that. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's where it needs to be. And it was
Yeah.
great.
And that's ultimately the cool part of DECA is the gym events, really.
Oh,
Outside of all the other frustrations with it, I think that's what they have right.
yeah, nobody walked away there not having a good time.
Yeah.
And by the way, I still say, so Farm Girl and Yancey had a little message about this today. We know we have one lane. That's all we got room for is one lane.
hmm
But we do get people through good, and we do have a fast setup. It is generally a very quick setup, and that was proved again. We had a lot of PRs this weekend. It's not that it's a cheating setup; it's all legit. All the
hmm
machines are legit. All the setup, all the measurements are legit. Everything is bang on. But it's just so condensed because we are in such a small area. You literally turn around and fall into the next zone.
hmm
There's no movement. So if you're looking for a fast, strong time, we're a good place to go. Just saying.
hmm
But it was a lot of fun. And then you just worked your ass off this weekend.
Yeah, I've just put in a really big training weekend. Yeah, it's just kind of where we're at right now. Like there's races coming up and ones that are yeah, this is right now the next couple months is a pretty big training block, so it's kind of what I have to be doing right now.
I kind of feel that way. Like now, I've got to get a few more of those in now. I know this weekend we have plans Saturday.
PFT,
Still time to sign up.
there is still time, yeah.
Good, because I still haven't done it yet. I got to go through the link and do it. I'm
Mhm.
a procrastinator. So
Yeah,
are
there's
you.
time.
So you can't get mad at me. You're just as bad.
Oh yeah, I am. Yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, but I'm looking forward, and we are coming. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Um, and but yeah, I'm the same. I need to get some good, especially because the weekends is when I can hit it hardest, right? That's when I need to get some really quality time in. Oh, speaking of weekends, so there's RX1 race this weekend in Quebec East or Montreal East, which essentially means east of Montreal. So I think it's in Trois Rivières or something like that. I can't remember exactly. Anyway, 200 double unders. So glad I'm not going to that one.
That's not part of the Gatineau series.
No, no,
Okay.
Montreal East series.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so could you imagine how long, like I know how long it would take me to do 200 double unders. It would probably be 20 minutes. I know you're not much different
No,
unless you've been working on it.
I have been working on it, but it's still not something that I want to finish a race with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it is near the end. And I'm like, oh my God, 300 double or 200 double unders. Even the that's for expert and I believe pro is the same. Intermediate is 300 single unders. Could you
I
imagine being a judge on 300 single unders?
oh no, that's hard.
Like it's
Maybe
hard
they'll
to
have clickers.
I hope so because like
Mhm.
like like single unders go so fast and you got
Yeah.
300 of them.
Is it at the finish?
No, I think it's at the beginning of of the kind of the beginning of that ending complex.
Oh, okay.
And everything is high reps.
So a lot of women would then pee their pants right before they do all of the finishing sequence. That's perfect.
Exactly, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of high reps on it.
I don't mind high reps. I just don't
Yeah.
want to high reps get.
Well, one of the things is interesting. It was like, yeah, I don't like to judge high reps exactly, but it was like, I think one of the stations is like 20 for expert is like 20 pull-ups followed by 5 chest to bar pull-ups.
Ooh,
And for the pros, it's like 15 pull-ups, 5 chest to bar pull-ups, 5 muscle ups,
oh boy.
and like sets of that. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So
Hmm.
everything is just a lot of high reps, and it looks like it'd be a good race. Only 2K running, so it's like 2K running to start, followed by 2K of rowing,
Woo.
which I'm kind of like you and I. I'm like, I like that. Hey, you could take the run, I'll
Yeah.
grab that row. It might be pretty even by the time we get out of it.
Ah. Mm. I don't know. I liked actually. I came off the rower in first, so I had a pretty good row.
You did have, you did.
Hmm.
Oh, so Jeff asked Fisher asked me this question and other people. Um, why did I look so ticked? And pretty much I yelled fuck after a row at Ryan I's row at Farm Girl. I have it in my head that I really, really want to go sub 130 on a row. And I was 129.9 into the last 5 meters and it clicked to 130. And it just clicked. And I was like the last pull and I was like, so
You'll get
that's why.
it.
That's why. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, like and then I was not a good day to begin with, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm next one, I'll have that.
Hmm.
I'll have it for sure. So but I'm just saying my rowing is coming along great. I'm really happy with the rowing. Rowing is really smashing along, getting faster and faster and more stamina and whatnot. So I like that. But yeah, so this weekend, your place, it was RX1 out in Quebec. Um, I don't know, is there High Rocks anywhere this weekend other because like there's I don't think there is this one.
No. Well, when's Doha?
Oh, Doha might be this weekend. I think I saw something about
Hmm.
from Tara saying she's getting ready for Doha.
Hmm.
So I think that might be this weekend. I don't think they have any live stream or anything for that though.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything, so and I know that Sandbach is going to Doha.
Well, he lives in like the Middle East now.
Uh yeah, did he not move back though?
Oh, I don't know. I thought he was still living there. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. He has a great association with the Middle East.
Yeah. Maybe an apartment.
Maybe in a
Mhm.
pub.
Mhm.
So yeah, so if it is this weekend, which we can't remember, good luck, Tara. You'll kill
Mhm.
it. Bring home some money and you can buy drinks when you come up.
Yeah.
And then this was on here and we didn't talk about this and we were very cheery about DECA, but I still have to say this because it pisses me off. We have complained the DECA leaderboard needs attention. Fix it up, please, or it's going to end up like the DECA Fire leaderboard. And if you haven't looked at the DECA Fire leaderboard and you want a good laugh, check it out.
I haven't.
No, you have not? Oh, should we do a share screen for this so that you can see the DECA Fire leaderboard?
Oh no.
By God, Yancey, I'm really sorry I'm doing this, but it has to be done. Like this just
They do
needs,
need to fix the leaderboard situation.
they do. And this is the top
I don't know
prior.
how long ago my event was, and they haven't fixed things from it.
Well, this is far beyond. And what this does is this just shows why there are some issues with, oh, well, I can't even find it on leaderboard. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This just shows why there is issues with virtual comps. Oh my God, did they actually do it? I think they may have fixed up the Deck of Fire leaderboard. Let's check it out here. So here you see these are all legitimate people. So live and in person, I'm going to say well done, Deca,
Mhm.
because last week this was first place was I believe your mom with 1 second.
Like
Uh,
literally the name your mom, not my
Correct. No,
mom.
not your mom, not Cindy. This was your mom with 1 second, your birth person with 1 second, your dad with like 2, 3 seconds. Taylor Swift was in fifth. Oh, you Justin Bieber was in fourth. Taylor Swift was in fifth. Um, there was a lot going on, but it does look like they have actually cleaned it up to a certain extent. These are all real people, and I've never done a deck of fire, so I'm going to assume these are feasible times. They look feasible,
Yeah, I have no idea.
but I mean, like if you look, they're kind of in a 422,
Yeah,
424,
they're all in the
423.
same realm of
Yeah, yeah,
times, so
yeah.
that's
This
fine.
seems logical. So if they did fix that up, well, Good on you. Now scrap it.
Yeah.
Scrap it and say you got to put a video in or it doesn't count.
Well, I think they need to do that for a lot of them.
Yes. So this idea, I mean, I'm sure we've talked about a portion of this idea or something of, but the notion was thrown out that if you want a time to be considered for a world record, that it needs to be videoed. I
Yeah.
don't think there's any problem with that. I actually don't think that's going far enough, but I definitely think that should be mandated. It either needs to be videoed or done at a full DECA event, um like a DECA trifecta somewhere that is held specifically by DECA where, Yancey, Nelson, right, like Robin, they're there, like that kind of setup. Worlds, for example.
Yeah.
And not only does the video in my mind have to, so I'm adding this part. If it is a video, especially if it's a mile, right, then also the course needs to be measured and shown,
Yes, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So that's, I think, and I don't see any reason why they shouldn't institute that because it's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
It will not get better. And there's, yeah. So I still am of the opinion that anybody who wants to qualify for Worlds should be able to submit a video if requested.
Hmm.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Hmm.
And quite frankly, if I was in charge of DECA officiating, I would actually say in every age group, category, elite, age group, whatever, one person minimum in the top 10 or top qualifying people will be asked randomly for a video. So if you want to go, make sure you got a video.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think,
There just needs to be more verification.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And it just, I don't agree with them that this is too much trouble. I think that this is how you keep a sport legitimate. And for
Yeah.
example, CrossFit's still fighting with it. You don't want to have that fight. You don't want to have that problem.
Yeah.
Set it up right.
If you want your sport to be taken seriously, then you need stuff like this in place.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Especially when you're
realistically,
talking about championships and you're calling things world records, and it needs to be in the small events, in the the gym hosted events.
and I know that Decca and Yancey would say, well, we trust our affiliates, we trust our people, we trust our community. People are assholes. Like, and more than that, people are desperate to win. Not just desperate to win, desperate to go to places, desperate to go to worlds. And I'll use you and I as an example. What would be in the way to stop you and I, or me, either one of us, from just saying, okay, at the last event, I know I need a 1330 to be in the strong, to make the cut for my strong for age group. And I ran a 1340, but fuck it, just put in 1330. Because I want to go. I've got the plane tickets. It's
Yeah.
all set. I'm out this much money if we don't. Just throw it in.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And people will, I know you don't want to say, but there are people out there that will do that. I'm not going to do that. I have a video of every run I ever do.
Hmm.
But there are people that will do it, and they're not as uncommon as you think. And some of them
Or
aren't
you
bad
make,
people.
your some of your lengths of things a little bit short,
Mhm.
just a little bit, a couple seconds here and there, or
Yep.
the mile run and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm hope it's not the common for sure, but people would do it.
Yep. Yep. And the other thing too, not only does videoing your run stop this, but like for example, Rye had, and even this weekend. So one time Rye had a run, I think was that Pure Impact, and she ended up doing an extra length on the tank. So because of that, and because we had it on video, they were able to go, oh my God, oh, so sorry, this is a horrible mistake, and boom, drop the time off.
Yeah.
This weekend, I was counting burpees and it was suggested that maybe I missed a rep, and that's cool. I'm human. I can do that. That can happen. I know I've done that before,
Yeah.
right? But luckily they were videoing it. We went through, and as it happened, I didn't. But but it was perfect because we had the video, we could look at it and we could say, great, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I made John and Sue do an extra burpee one time. Sorry, John and Sue. I don't even know if you know that. Oh, they did know. They did know. That's right. They did know, and we knocked it off. And see, so perfect. Like I said, I consider
But
myself a
that
good
happens
judge.
too, like with the judging stuff, like where the judge makes a mistake. It happened to me at RX1. I was counting
Yep.
and I took a break at 10 of something. And I think, I don't know if I said 10 or something out loud as I was, and he's like, oh shoot, was that 10 good? Because I lost count.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It
I'm
can
like, it
happen.
was like, but yeah, it's just human error sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
and when you're judging all day long and you're counting nonstop and there's so many things going on around you,
yeah.
it's very easy to have it
Mhm.
happen. So I'm just saying, even if it's not necessary, video your runs anyway. And I don't want video replay. I don't want video replay for no reps. I don't want that. But if it comes down to missing a rep or making someone do something extra, then it can mean a lot of the difference and it can save a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
So tip of the day, video your runs all the way through. Don't just take highlight reels. You can crop it later for Instagram.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. All right. You got anything else or are you good for this week?
No, I think we've talked enough, Dave.
All right. It's hard to believe.
Thanks so much, everyone, for listening this week. And yeah, again, lots going on right now. Good luck to everyone racing this weekend. And if you have not yet registered for the PFT happening in London, um, look up Hybrid Fitness, Team London Hybrid, and get registered.
Take care.